Let's just kiss and say goodbye. I had to meet you here today. There's just so many things to say. Please don't stop me till I'm through. This is something I hate to do.
Y'all better.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday. Welcome to the Stimulus, and welcome to KBOB 89.9, where you all are tuned into the Stimulus with Ciore and Jonathan. We are super excited to be here, guys. How are you?
What's going on, family? It's your boy Jonathan, and man, I feel great. It's another Monday. We here making it happen, and we are feeling extra special this week. You know, we got a lot going on. Tulsa has really been going up. You know, you've been seeing a lot of positive energy flowing throughout the community, and you know, we just trying to make sure we prolong that and make sure we provide that right exposure the way it needs to be had. But I feel great. How are you feeling, Ciore?
I am feeling amazing. In fact, I'm feeling so good because, you know, I like when the weather's like this. I do. And then also, I got a morning walk in, so that was good. I got a morning walk in, so that was good. I also, I didn't eat breakfast, but I definitely had lots of good conversation this morning that I felt like was really fruitful. And I'm just excited. I feel like I'm on the go, and I'm not just like on the go for a Monday. I feel like I'm on the beginning stretch of the next 2 weeks. And so, yeah, I'm feeling good. How you feeling?
I feel good. I did a little at home workout this morning. You know, I didn't go to the gym. Decided to do my own thing at the crib, which was nice. And then I had, you know, a little breakfast, but I had a really peaceful morning. You know, I just took some time to really reflect. I had to thank God for just everything he's been doing. God's really been showing out, you know, in my life and the lives of people that I really care about. So it's good. And I'm just thankful. So I was able to spend that time with the Lord this morning and then just really prepare for this week. And I woke up feeling really good. Like past few weeks, I've been feeling tired when I wake up. But today I'm like,
energized.
Let's get to it. Yeah, let's do it. Yes.
Oh man. Okay, so tell me this, John. What do you think was the best part of your weekend?
I had a good weekend, first of all. So it was a lot of highlights this weekend. You know, we went to get some food. We got a little. What was is the Mandarin Express?
Mandarin Taste.
Taste. Yeah. So we got to get some food, which was good. Enjoyed a little hot pot on Friday, which was a new experience. Kind of like where it's a little community eating style gathering where you can kind of get a big bowl of like broth that's either spicy, regular, and you can put in whatever you want. So that was pretty cool. Followed that up with going to Mercury Lounge, seeing Fire Little Africa do their thing.
Yeah.
They're extremely talented. I was very impressed by everybody that was out there. Man, see my man Kode do his thing.
Yeah,
they were killing it for real. I was really impressed. They're gonna do some major things, and I definitely believe the hype.
Yeah, believe the hype.
Yeah, that was good. That was Friday. Saturday.
Oh, you just gonna tell us all the good things you did.
You said what I did this weekend, man. This weekend was good. You know what I'm saying? This weekend was real good. So Saturday, you know, we had the sneaker ball soiree, you know, hosted by Silhouette, which was really good over at the Philbrook. Was glad I got to partake in that.
Yes. We seen performances by Paris Crates, and so that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was good. So had that soiree. Sunday was nice. Church, brunch, productive, chill. So
But brunch
yes.
at the GOAT. And I
Yes.
feel like there's going to be lots of events happening this weekend at the GOAT
Mhm.
too, from what I've been told. So if you all are listening, and stay tuned, like keep your eyes peeled. Well, wow. It sounds like you had a full weekend.
Yeah. What about you?
You know, I did many of those things as well.
Yeah, we're hanging out this weekend, so
yeah. But I feel like the weekend was like, it was such a ramp up, or it was such like a momentum builder just to the week that I had last week. You know I ended up in karaoke. I ended up in multiple different like entrepreneurship like mixers. I feel like just everything that could have gone well last week. I feel like work was good. I feel like my home life was good. But I felt like socially, everything I was doing was good, and it was linked to some sort of professional development. And I feel like whenever you get to work hard and play hard at the same time with people who are just as motivated as you are, I feel like there's really very few things that's like more sweet than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Last week was a good time, and I feel like we're just feeling summer starting to ramp up. You know, we're feeling like summer is about to be live in full effect. I know right now it might be a little gloomy outside. It's a little rainy, but that's not stopping anybody. Everybody's happy to be out and about and just see each other, be back in community again, and have gatherings and just hang out. So I'm feeling it. 2021 this summer is shaping up to just be a lot of fun and productive as well. Again, being able to mix business with pleasure. So I definitely relate with you on that. And it's nice, so things have been good. I'm excited to see what's going to happen this week. This is pretty big for Tulsa right now with everything that's going on. So with the centennial. So I'm interested to see how this goes.
Definitely. Okay, well, with that being said, what good things do you have for us?
Man, so today we have quite the show in store for you all. We are going to be featuring my man Kode Ransom. So he's back on the show with us. We're excited to have him.
He was actually our inaugural guest, wasn't he?
Yes, he was the inaugural guest.
He was the first guest we ever had.
We've been here long enough to have him on here twice, man. Twice. So, hey, shout out to Kode, shout out to the stimulus.
Shout out to us, man. Doing big things.
Doing big things. We still here, y'all. So so we have Kode. So last time he gave us his perspective on entrepreneurship and what it's like in terms of like his influences from just his family and origin and how he relates that to life today. And then today we're going to be discussing, Black Wall Street, Greenwood in its prime. We were going to be going over the legacy and the prominence of really the entrepreneurial spirit that was so alive, here 100 years ago and before, and then even how that followed up, after the devastating, race massacre. So, Kode is very involved in the community. He's going to be telling us about some of that history. We'd love to get his thoughts on that and his viewpoints on what the centennial and what this all means to him, so he does tours on Greenwood and is very involved. So he's one of the voices of North Tulsa. So we're very excited to have him here on the Stimulus with us this morning.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Kode, for gracing us with your presence. And melanin skin, we really appreciate you. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Just kind of chilling. Gloomy days kind of put me in like a relaxed mood most days. So.
I'm glad you said relax.
I feel you on that.
It's not bad.
I feel like a nap. A nap is upon us.
Yeah. It's like all day. One can happen at any time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, what are you excited about for today, though?
For today, really just being able to get out. Like I will say, like gloomy days kind of slow it down on Greenwood a little bit. So I think it'll be knowing what's coming in the next few weeks. It'll be cool to just find me like 30, 45 minutes to just kind of duck off and be, and just kind of relax, take it all in, kind of gather myself and just get prepared. So I look forward to days like that where I don't have a full schedule. I can really just do what I want to that day. So
Yeah, no,
I
I
feel you on
understand.
that.
I understand. But hey, y'all, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and tune into our first break. We are definitely excited to hear all that Cody has to share with us today. I'm just giving y'all this heads up that we're going to go to a break just in case y'all wasn't ready so y'all could get ready. We're going to be back in about 2 minutes, and we really want y'all to engage with us today. We want y'all to ask questions. You want y'all to give us like some feedback, and if y'all have anything that y'all want to ask Cody, we will be paying attention. And so with that being said, don't go anywhere. We're coming back real soon. Y'all are tuned in to The Stimulus with Ciore and Jonathan on KBOB.
Tulsa Transit is excited to introduce the Route 969 Workforce Express Network. The new Highway 169 Corridor Job Shuttle, WEN, is a fixed route service offering access from North Tulsa and Turley. Stops include Macy's, Amazon, Whirlpool, and Port of Catoosa. Save time and money when you ride the WEN Route 969. And for your protection, buses are cleaned daily. Visit tulsatransit.org for more details.
Advertise in the Tulsa Black-Owned Business Guide. It's a monthly publication reaching all of Oklahoma and beyond, giving exclusive content about your business and many businesses that are connected to you. Full page and half pages are available. Purchase and artwork are due on the 25th of each month. Visit us online right now at www.tulsabobn.com for more details, or email us right now at tulsabobn@gmail.com for pricing. If your credit starts with a 3, 4, 5, or 6, this is for you. Did you know that it's costing you to have bad credit? You can't get qualified for that house or apartment and you're paying high interest rates, along with paying high car insurance, and it may be costing you that job that you really want. What are you waiting on? Take more of a holistic approach. Pick up the phone and call the Credit Shiro at 832-642-1554 or text CAMP to 76626. With 13 amazing services, we restore and repair generations to come. Once again, call the Credit Shiro at 832-642-1554 or text CAMP to 76626. If you know better, you do better. Only the Credit Shiro can help you to save the day.
All right, we are back. We are back. The Stimulus with Ciore and Jonathan here on KBOB 89.9. And we got my man Kode Ransom in the building.
What's going on?
What's up, man?
Not too much.
So, bro, we have a huge week ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
And really, we are a part of history right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's to me, I feel honored to just be here, you know, especially from someone that's originally from out of town and to just kind of move into Tulsa during this period. You know, this is remarkable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's history that can't be forgotten, a legacy that still exists to this day, you know, and, you know, we really just want to see what's your take on it. How do you feel about what's going on and what's happening over the next 2 weeks out here in Tulsa?
I feel a great sense of balance. So what being one of the historians of the area, and knowing the things that I know, of course, it comes with a lot of there's a lot of negative that you get to learn about what happened, you know, 7 days from now. So knowing that portion of it, of course, draws a lot of emotion, some of which we're not used to actually sharing outwardly. So and then the counter side of it is I get to see how many people are actually paying attention to the legacy now. Before, it wasn't really a popular thing to do. So that's kind of the balance that I get to feel. I see a lot of events and I see a lot of smiles that go on as well. And so I think it's always important to remember what these days actually represent. And to know that we don't have to wait until the 31st and June 1st to celebrate Black Wall Street. So, yeah.
Do Do you feel that? Do you feel that? Do you feel what's the word that I'm looking for? Do you feel optimistic about people within our community and otherwise sustaining like the momentum of like this is a place to celebrate?
Well, to be honest with you, I've believed in us forever. So like I think that now is just a time for people to see what we can do, that weren't looking. But those of us who were already kind of looking inward and looking at each other, we already know, even before I knew the history of Greenwood, I knew what I was capable of. I've always held Black people to a higher standard because I've seen what Black people can do. I've seen what we can do, and so Black Wall Street is just it was an example, and really just a sample size of what we can do. Knowing that Greenwood wasn't the only one, so East St. Louis, Detroit had one, Chicago had one, Atlanta had one, Rosewood, Florida, Elaine, Louisiana. So knowing that this wasn't, it wasn't just a one-off thing. It's most known for its destruction, but the greatness was there well before the fire came. So I think that instead of being optimistic about what we could do, I more so look at what we are doing, what we were doing, and what we will continue to do. I know that it'll stretch well past June 1st for sure.
And Kode, tell us a little bit about the legacy of Black Wall Street, the prominence. I know there were great Black towns all over the country, but tell us why Tulsa is important.
Tulsa is important, number one, because it had the people who built Greenwood or Black Wall Street. They weren't from Tulsa. A lot of times, legacies are built in people's hometowns. O.W. Gurley from Arkansas. You had J.B. Stratford was from Kentucky. So, and then a lot of people who were prominent moved here, due to that. So you got Dr. A.C. Jackson, Mayo brothers. Actually, one of the Mayo brothers said he was the quote unquote most capable Negro in America. But as a surgeon, so for, in a time like that, for him to get that sort of recognition and for him to be here. And then even after you have, even knowing that Madam C.J. Walker had a beauty college here, you know what I mean? It's not a lot of places that can say that. So I think that the legacy of what Greenwood is and the soul that Greenwood had actually existed, and it existed in all Black communities. It was just a combination of all of that soul into one place. And the fact that Tulsa itself, being founded by a Klansman and being such a harsh place, that made it thrive even more. You know what I mean? So to be able to do that and know that the majority of these people were first generation free people. So they had never seen people that looked like them accomplish what they accomplished. So, but they also understood the one thing that I think has gotten lost over the years, which was the power of teamwork and knowing that I don't have to like all my teammates to respect them and work with them. So you won't be able to find in Greenwood a standalone business. There weren't any. So you got J.B. Stratford with Stratford Hotels, is the largest Black-owned hotel in America, but he also had the Ferguson drugstore inside of it. So knowing that he was one of the most prominent and also one of the richest, he could have built that for himself and just said, well, this is my space. But the Ferguson drugstore was allowed to be in there as well. O.W. Gurley, same thing. The Gurley building housed B.C. Franklin's attorney office was in there for a while. You had an apartment complex, photography studio. So these are people who could have built for themselves, but they built their business and provided space for other people. So I think the model of what Black Wall Street was and what Greenwood was, I think if we kind of just go back to that, and I think that all of these eyes that are coming on it, when I do tours, that's the part that I stress the most. Of course, you learn about the massacre, but the massacre was actually just, it was a moment, but it was also a moment that they came back from and did even bigger and better than the first time. So that resilience of that Greenwood soul, I think is something we all got and we need to use.
That's huge, man. Tell us, what were the numbers like, businesses, before and after the massacre?
Yeah, you're looking at about give or take 600 businesses. I mean, so you have 20 plus grocery stores, churches. Simon Berry had an airport cab system, bus system that he created. Of course, schools, hospitals. Like you literally had its own city. It had everything it needed to sustain itself. But then also even on your entertainment side, having your theaters, your pool halls, and things of that nature, your beauty colleges, your barbershops. So everything that we can think of that, if you just look at Tulsa in this grand scheme, it all existed in about a 40 block radius. So knowing that I could go in the grocery store and know that, man, the people who own this look like me, so it's literally all of that. And like I said, these are people that at the time had never seen it, you know what I mean? So that sort of ambition to build it, knowing you've never seen it. Now we don't really have an excuse. We can Google or YouTube how to do anything. Like these people didn't have that luxury. So the amount of enterprise, and just if you go up Greenwood from the highway to Archer, you're looking at 24 different black doctors and lawyers just on that strip. So that's not counting the whole 40 blocks. So knowing that a lot of us can't name 5 black doctors that we know personally or 5 black lawyers that we know personally, and these people had that many that just sat on this one street. So yeah.
That's actually crazy though, because recently I've been just like looking to get new doctors, and it's like you're asking everyone about doctors, and someone might know like a lady doctor, but they don't know a primary doctor, or somebody might know a dentist, but they don't know the other ones. And so I think it's actually extremely impressive as in it impresses on me the fact that all of these people are here in the city, and I feel like I know a whole lot of people, and nobody knows black doctors that are around here. And it's like I have a list of maybe 2 to 4 of them now, and then they're backed up with everybody who's trying to get into like their locations. And so I'm really excited about all of the tech that like folks are recruiting to town, and like the high value black talent folks are bringing to town. But I also like hope in this excitement about like the future that it's also going to bring in, talent in other areas like the medical, practices, or, highlight just things that make the community better as a whole, as opposed to just like one specific sector. And so I guess we'll see. Some people say, what is it, like a rising ship, like does something to all the tides, but like hopefully if we start getting folks to town, like it will bring more of that about. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying we need to bring talent in, because I feel like there's a lot that we can celebrate about this community, but I would just like that as transitions are happening, that we can attract some of those people who make finding a black doctor just more accessible.
Yeah, and I think that focusing on cultivating the talents and that we have here too, like you were saying, definitely being able to bring in people who are experienced at it, and hoping that is actually the inspiration for the ones that had this idea of it but thought it was impossible. So once they see it, physically see it, and go to a black doctor, then those kids that are 15, 16 or younger, they can say, okay, well now I've experienced it. I've seen what it looked like. I went to 15 years without it, and now I've seen it. It's the same as like if you have a black teacher. Is once you have one black teacher, like every school year you go in thinking like I need one now because I've experienced it before, versus now if you go to one black doctor, it's like I need to find another black doctor, like that experience and just that connection. So I think I use sports a lot, and a lot of people talk about building teams, and people get mad when you build a super team because they think that you forget to cultivate the talent that's there. And so you can bring in a LeBron James, but you also need to concentrate on that person that's going through all these training camps, that's playing summer league too. And so a lot of us here are playing summer league. And so being able to bring somebody in that may already have that star power, that impact, that direct impact immediately, but definitely reach back and cultivate the talent in the area in too. So.
Yeah, I really feel like, man, I feel like it's extremely important to see that talent, especially in our youth. You know, like it's very important for our youth to be able to see what is possible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very important for them to see, you know, people that look like them that are achieving things that they might not have ever thought of before, because then it becomes reality. And this is also a expectation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something that, you know, man, my cousin did that, my dad did that, my sister's doing this right now. And, you know, I'm relating this back to Black Wall Street, you know, and how important it was to be able to grow up in an environment and you see what the expectation is. And that's to have your own business.
Mm-hmm.
For there to be over 600 businesses, you have people that are reaching heights as doctors and lawyers and just being prominent in the community. And that was the bar. That was the standard.
The standard.
You know, so it's to me, I just think it's important that, you know, we make sure we preserve that, because, you know, just going back to how huge it was to open up that grocery store, you know, Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's big just having that huge picture on the wall in the
Of
store
the
of the
Mann
Mann family, that they show you that this is not new for us. This is what we've been doing. We've been doing this for over 100 years now against all odds, you know, and then just being able to interview, you know, the descendants of that family that we were able to have on the show, and just being able to say, man, everybody that I looked at, they owned a business. Everybody I knew owned a business, and I felt like I needed to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I feel like it's interesting because in Tulsa, this was the state that it existed like at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I'm traveling and like I'm in the East and like people are in DC or whatever, and I'm like, you know, what kind of community you're growing up in, right? You know, and I'm thinking about Black communities that are familiar to me. I would say just like in the Midwest in general, you know, generally like underserved, underpopulated, underrepresented. But it's so interesting to see my friends have so much pride who've come from these cities that have a high population of Black excellence, just in general. You know, it's there's no question of if they can do it. There's no question of if they need permission to be successful. There's no question of, you know, can they do it or not? It's more of like,
excuses. Yeah.
Which path am I going to take?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there is no failure. You know, it's like my doctor is Black, my dentist is Black, my pastor is Black, the grocery store folks are Black, like everybody's Black, and it's like, yeah, I don't have that experience, you know, at all. And I wonder, you know, will Tulsa even be able to get to a place to experience that level of pride in our lifetime?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be tough. I think that for me in particular, I hold Black people to a certain level of greatness regardless of where they are in life. So I don't look at, if you don't have a business yet or you don't have this amount of money, success looks different to me. So being able to get back to having that expectation for each other. So even when when Oasis opened, when I said what I said about it, I was just like, yeah, I'm supposed to have a grocery store. You know, so
yeah.
I don't have to. It was, and like I said, I'll always commend the people who do the work and getting it there. But the reason I looked at it differently because I was like, all right, well, what's next? We got it. All right, so now that we have it, sustain it and get something else. You can't look at it and say, okay, we finally got it. We got what we were asking for, because that's not what we asked for. Mm-hmm. Greenwood itself, like I said, had 20 plus. So you're telling me in a 40 block radius, we had over 20. And now, you're looking at pretty much North Tulsa with an 8-9 mile radius. You got one. So you're telling me in a time where these people were killed for wanting to be business owners, they were able to get that many. So in a time now to where we say we do have hindrances, but we also get to wake up tomorrow and try again. Some of these people didn't, and they did it anyway. So I always look at it like as if Jonathan's working on a grocery store on Pine and Peoria, I need to be working on one in Gilcrease.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't just say, well, okay, well now we got that. It's like we don't all live on Pine and Peoria, and if we had logistic problems getting to Admiral Memorial, you'll probably have those same issues trying to get to Pine and Peoria. So knowing that that's the start. And now somebody else got to do another one closer to that area. So knowing that, like I said, but when you expect greatness, like that's what comes with it. You know what I mean? If I saw it a lot when I was growing up, but like there were white kids that expected to get BMWs when they turned 16. So if you gave them a Lexus, they were upset. They didn't accept that Lexus. They needed that BMW. And so even though they drove the Lexus, that Lexus was a vehicle to get them to the BMW. Whereas if you don't even expect to get a car, I can give you an 83 Cutlass and say, here you go. You got to kick it.
Smile on your face.
Yeah, and you'll be there. You'll stay in that moment because you didn't expect anything. So getting anything is perfect. So I think when you expect a certain level of things, it's hard to give you tokens. It's hard to say, well, now you got one. If I expect 100, one doesn't do it for me.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think that it's, like I said, with everything that's balanced. You know, when you look at something and it's great, definitely enjoy it. Keep yourself in that moment. And then tomorrow, work on doing something else. Because the more you do that, that's actually Greenwood. That's what Black Wall Street was. When O.W. Gurley came, he bought 40 acres. Could have just developed that 40 acres and said, this is it. But he brought these other business owners in and he told them, you go get 40 acres too. We not just finna use mine. Like, you can get it, you can get it. And that's how you end up with 40 blocks, because it wasn't just, okay, well, he has a hotel, so we're good. It was, you got one, now I'm going to bring in another hotel owner. And then when we get a grocery store, somebody else is going to put groceries on the other side to make sure those people are taken care of. So just always knowing that, you know, there is a next step to everything that we do, and not settling where we are, I think is very important. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Completely agree. You know,
absolutely.
like you said it. And I also think like it's this idea of like you can be content without being complacent. And whenever you said it at first, I was like, I want to make sure like people know like you got to celebrate the small victories. And so, you know, and I've even stopped saying small victories and just be like all victories, like celebrate them, you know. But I think what you said at the end is a piece that's so critical. It's like, celebrate for the moment, but like don't be celebrating for the rest of your life about this one thing as if this is it. Like there's more to come. You know, I do think you have to celebrate in order to like, you know, reward yourself and be like, oh, okay, like we can do this, you know, but it's like that has to be momentum, like to keep going.
Yeah.
Because if you stop, it's like, well, what about not even just like generations after you, right? Like sometimes I feel like we make progress too big. We're like, oh, we want to make progress for, you know, people 30 years from now versus like, no, we want to make progress for the people who are actually existing and experiencing the same problem, but they're just like in a different space and don't benefit from what I just experienced. And so I think everything that you said is just so key.
Yeah, you got to keep applying pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got to make sure that, okay, yeah, we just did this, but that's just the beginning. You know, we really haven't even gotten started yet. And I feel like that's the mentality that was here in this city, saying like, okay, 1, 10, 15 grocery stores, business is not enough. We want to get as big as we can possibly get. We want to scale this thing out, and we want to make sure that our people are good. Yeah. You know, we want to be more than good. We want to live life in abundance, and we want to make sure that our community not only rivals what's on the other side of town, you know, maybe with the white people, but it's much better because we have that vision. And I think it's just important to just think about like where we came from. Those are first generation freed people that we talking about here. So it's almost like they conceptualized this themselves and they brought it into life. And, you know, it's interesting to think about. And, you know, we're getting ready to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we want to talk about that same entrepreneurial spirit that existed back then here in Greenwood and in Tulsa, and where it stands today. You know, where are we at today in terms of that fire that's burning inside of us to go ahead and get those businesses. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You are listening to The Stimulus with Ciore and Jonathan, and we'll see you again in a little bit.
Hello, Tulsa. This is Janetta Toles with Sunday Dinner and More by Janet, your weekend soul spot. Every Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. We're located 531 East Apache in the historic Apache Circle Center. Of course, during these times, it's carry out only, but you can call 918-951-5143. That's Sunday Dinner and More by Janet.
Can't fool myself, I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star.
Okay, we'll still send a code 3. North Star Security and Private Investigation provides over 35 years of experience to ensure your security and investigation needs are met. Our officers are CLEAT and state certified. If you are seeking employment, stop by our website at www.northstarsecurityandpi.com. For details on quotes and employment opportunities, call today at 918-248-6592. That's 918-248-6592. North Star Security and Private Investigation.
How to order chicken wings. Number 1, find a good wing spot.
I know a wing spot, Max Wings.
Number 2, decide if you want a combo or if you want to order a la carte.
Huh? What's that?
Well, combos come with chicken, veggie sticks, fries, and a drink for a discounted price. A la carte means that you order each item separately.
Okay.
3, decide if you want bone-in, boneless, or cauliflower wings, and then determine the delicious flavor you want on your wings.
I didn't even know cauliflower had wings.
You learn something new every day. Have you been to Max Wings?
Yep.
Max Wings is located at 782 East Pine Street in Tulsa. We're open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come to Max Wings, home of the dry rub fries.
Hey, and we are back, y'all. We are back. It has been an exciting morning. We had a great first segment with Kode, our special guest that is here telling us all good things about how we can really honor the entrepreneurial spirit of Black Wall Street. And now we're getting ready to kick it off with the next part of our segment. So definitely tune in if you guys are just getting here. Definitely, go back and watch the beginning of the interview. But John, go ahead. What is our next question?
Yeah, Kode. So again, we were talking about pretty much just the dominance of Black Wall Street, everything that it had to offer, kind of the lifestyle, the expectation, the standard that was set in place, over 100 years ago, right here in the same city, right where we are today. Do you feel like that same entrepreneurial spirit exists within Tulsa? And then just elaborate, tell us really how you feel about, that the business ownership here in Tulsa.
Yeah, I definitely think it exists. Like I said, Greenwood was a soul. It was a feeling. It wasn't predicated on just being there. I will say that. And I think that the spirit is there. It's just a lot of people don't know what they can do. So that's why I got into small business consulting, because I can tell you whatever it is you're good at or the need that you see that needs to be filled, instead of you looking for someone else to do it, some of these things are things that you can do. But if you don't know what tools are there, or if you don't know how to maximize your own potential, then of course we'll never get it. So it's not that the fire start burning. It's just we just weren't adding fuel to it. And so now I think people are getting back to that. A large portion of it was because generations before us felt like they did everything for them. And when I say that, I mean it was concentrate on you, get yourself together, do this, do that. And so a lot of people were separated by doing that. When you get tunnel vision, you don't really look and see, who you can help, who you can pull. It happens with our communities a lot, where it's like, oh, well, I built this empire. The kids, I mean, you got to get it on your own. Like my mom used to tell me the same thing. Like, hey, you got to be able to get it on your own, instead of really cultivating the creative talents that I had. And so a lot of times that does kill that flame. So I think that it definitely exists out here. It just takes more of us bringing that back out. And then also, I think a large portion of it too is not accepting tokenism as a thing. Like Tulsa is, in my opinion, Tulsa is known for that. It's known for the tokens that they give, just a kind of like hey, well, okay, you didn't have a grocery store. Well, now you got one. And so now that you got one, I'm going to show up. I said it when I said it on social media. People who didn't know me personally took it as me saying something about the black people who were there. And I'll just publicly say I'll never bash another black person publicly. I'll call you and I may say some things, but I won't do it publicly. So what I was referring to was if a new resource opens in South Tulsa, the mayor does not feel like he needs to go because he expects them to have a resource or a grocery store. So it's really the tokenism was us doing something that we should already have, something that we had that this city helped destroy. That's not, that's not a moment to bring your cameras for you to be able to smile and shake hands. That's a moment to say, you know what, y'all should have already had this, and whatever we can do to make sure you get more of what you should already have, at minimum, you should get back what you had. You know what I mean? So when I said those things, I was referring to that was the production. I saw of course, a bunch of people there. Y'all were there, people that I respect. That wasn't the production because I know you weren't there because there was going to be a camera there. You were there because you were genuinely excited about what you're getting ready to see. But when I'm looking at these city officials show up, if you really wanted it to be a grocery store there would have been one there years ago. If you really wanted that, and I think that it's the same with Greenwood. What happens on Greenwood is people come and we quote the Greenwood spirit and the Greenwood soul, but we don't use it. And what I mean by that is you have a t-shirt shop down there, and I've seen people buy shirts off of white people on the corner. They got Black Wall Street on it. And I'm like, you walking right past, a black souvenir shop to buy this t-shirt, or the people who come out there and sell it. You make the money and then you leave. You know what I mean? So it happens a lot. You know what I mean? So I think that when we talk about what Black Wall Street was, it was being able to not only have these businesses, but us shop together. You can't tell me you all for a black business and then you walk past a black business with, a white business product that person sells and you're here every day. So, or I can't go, I'll say, like, if you were to talk about the Holocaust, the Jewish people will make sure if you're not Jewish, this is not your conversation. Versus with us, I've watched so many people who not only aren't of Greenwood, but it ain't us. You know what I mean? So if I see a white dude giving a tour of Greenwood, it hurts my feelings. You know what I mean? Because I understand that now if you're taking somebody with you to teach them what you know so that they can end up doing it, that's one thing. But it's another thing to say, okay, well, I read in books. I know the history. I can walk over because nobody else would be able to do that. Like I said, when it comes to the Jewish people, like, it's a respect thing, you know what I mean? And it's, so when I see people here, the people that come in and do small business consulting, they have their ideas. They just don't think it's possible. And part of the reason they don't think it's possible is because we watch other black people take the money and leave. And when you see that, you think that, yeah, my idea, I have full confidence in my idea. I just don't have the confidence in other black people to shop with me because that's not what I'm seeing. And so the entrepreneurial spirit has never left. It's always been here. Reason being is because after they burned it, they rebuilt it. And then after they rebuilt it, this highway system comes in and destroys it again. And even after it destroyed it again, people still remain there. So whenever Greenwood was a place that even a tumbleweed wouldn't blow through, it was still black businesses down there. They were still trying. It's just a lot of us weren't paying attention to them. So I think with that, that spirit has always been in us. We all know somebody who you give them a pack of Twizzlers, they can come back with $20 at the end of the day. Like, we all know somebody like that. So we all have it. And there's ways of us doing it. But if I don't have confidence in the consumer, then, that's what gets people out of it. Your ideas are great. Building a grocery store is amazing. But if you don't think people are going to shop there, you're not going to be able to find $10 million to put into it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why I believe we haven't gotten as much. It's because, like I said, we got to get back to having confidence in each other. I think that whatever it is y'all do, I make it a point to figure it out. And if there's a way that if I can shop once a month, then I'll do it. If it's a way to supplement whatever I was needing and not have to go anywhere else, I have to look at y'all first. And if y'all don't got it, then I can go somewhere else. I'm in a coffee shop, but I tell people, if you go to Starbucks because they sell something I don't, I get it. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. That means I need to step up my product.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go there and you get exactly what I got, you drove by me to go get it. So you can't tell me it's all about black enterprise and we have to shop together and then walk past me like that. You know what I mean? But that also lets us know where we need to grow. If I wanted to build my own store similar to a Walmart, I need to know what Walmart has. I'm not going to expect you to stop getting groceries from Walmart if I don't sell groceries. Like I gotta have what you need. But I also have to have confidence that once I get it, you'll come, because everything that we're doing as far as business, it all costs money. You're supposed to spend money to make money, but if I spend it and still don't make nothing, that's the reason why our stores last 2 to 3 years and then it's gone, because they spent all that time spending trying to get you to come in, and then you look at them and say, well, every time I go in a black business is, they're rude or they don't have this, or they like you can't. If you tell yourself that, then you look right over me not knowing this might be the nicest person in the world. So I think that me as a black male, I owe every black person I run into, I owe you a look at minimum. You know what I mean? I at least have to look and see what you got. And if it's something that I could use, then you who I owe. I owe you. I don't owe it to anybody else.
Man, I think, first of all, thanks for sharing all of that. I feel like it was so rich. There were multiple times where I was like, oh man, it makes me think of this. Oh, it makes me think of this. But one thing that I do want to circle back to is you talked about like this idea of tokenism. And I feel like what stood out to me was the context in which you used it, and it's probably its actual definition. But every time I think about tokenism, I've always thought about like that one black person that's in the room, that one person of color that's in the room. And so, when you talk about the miscommunication that someone can take whatever you're saying about tokenism out of context, it's like, oh, that's probably what I would have been thinking too. But when I think about the way that you use tokenism, and you talked about the grocery store and how like this is supposed to be this way. Why are we celebrating something that's supposed to be this way? And we talked about small victories, but my question, keeping all this in line with kind of like the centennial and in this moment that we're in, would you refer to the centennial as tokenism?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I'm gonna tell you why. And the reason being is because 6 months ago, I'll say 30 to 40% of the people that are around now didn't care. 12 months ago, 70 to 80% of these people did not care. The reason it's tokenism also is because even if you look at where the Greenwood Rising building is going, that land had been vacant. The people who own the land had owned it then. You're in a rush to open it by June 2nd. You know what I mean? And if you really wanted to do the history and you cared about the history, it wouldn't take 100 years for you to tell it. So the tokenism is the city understands that this is a big money maker for the city. This has nothing to do with the people who died, because if it did, the people who killed and had their businesses and homes destroyed, I'll tell you, TU and the Tulsa Historical Society, they still have pictures, videos, and documents that nobody has ever seen. So if you really cared about this, there's I actually got a chance to look at it, and of course they don't let you take pictures, but there's actually the insurance claims that some of the white people filed for the guns and ammunition that they used to kill black people on Greenwood. These people got paid and their family names on there. You know what I mean? That highway system is put there, but that highway system was actually built by, one of our huge politicians. It was his grandfather who chose to put it in that area. You know what I mean? Old money. So I think that if you really cared about what's going on, then you would be completely transparent. And when you look at things that happen, how much of that money goes to the very few descendants, but also the very few survivors that are still here. There's no reason for me to be talking about a massacre. And if I make $1, I at minimum owe, Mama Randall, Mama Fletcher, I at least owe them 25, 30% of everything. If I made $1 off of anything that had to do with Greenwood, because none of us act like I ain't died there. You know what I mean? A piece of a legacy died there for a minute. But I didn't have to experience that, and these people did. So when you really think about, when I say tokenism, I look at it like the very same conversations we have when we say, well, we don't want no president coming in and trying to steal, just get a highlight moment. I don't want to be on the highlight reel of the mayor. Well, when the mayor was there, the only question I would have had for the mayor is, hey man, can you commit to shopping in here twice a month for the rest of the time you in office? Because if you can't, then you can leave. I don't need you here at this moment because now you're here to take a picture. You can't commit to buying beef jerky in here twice a month.
That's huge. I mean, I totally agree. I feel like, I think that on one hand, I feel like it is good that we are acknowledging this history. I feel like there's a couple of things. So I feel like it's good that we're acknowledging this history. And I do think that it's absolutely a marketing piece for the city of Tulsa. However, what I want to see is I want to see our Black community take advantage of that. The same way that they're trying to take advantage of us, we need to flip that script and then leverage all these people that are going to be coming into the city. Whether we agree with it or not, this can be huge for us if we go about it the correct way. So I just think that we need to keep that in mind. We got about a week. If you got somebody that that can sell a pack of Twizzlers and make $20, when this is the week to do it. If you're gonna be selling T-shirts, this is the week to do it. So let's make sure that we are adding value to our community, and despite of this devastation that we've all.
And that's why I was looking at you like that when you was like, "What's going on?" You were literally talking about like the person who's on the side of the street who just like, I'm here for the moment because I know it's money to be made, and people not going into the shops, not that they see one on the street, but it's like, how many people are selling T-shirts in Tulsa that are part of the Black community? Is like, this is the time to pull up. Now the crazy thing is, I'm scared to even say it, on the radio, but I'm gonna say it because this is how people think. Next thing you know, people will do exactly what we're talking about, and then they'll get in trouble for not having permits. So it's like, how do people get right? I don't necessarily know, but what I do know is there's still a little bit of time left. There's still a little bit of time left to figure out, like, how can you fully take advantage of this situation?
And I would just say, but while you're figuring out how to take advantage of the situation, find a survivor and ask them where you want a portion of the proceeds to go.
Yeah,
that's all, because I think that, like I said, if you make $100 off a massacre and the person who survived it is still here and that person sees nothing, I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I say, if I'm mad at white people, I'd be twice as mad at Black people, because you know what it's like to be exploited and you did it anyway.
Tell us this, where can listeners find the information about survivors?
Respectfully.
So the attorney, Demario Oates, Dr. Tiffany Solomon. Yeah. Dr. Tiffany Crutcher, like Christy Williams, Chief Amasan, like they're all in touch with these people. And if you really want to find them, come down, go to the Greenwood Culture Center. Like, you can find ways. It's no different than where I can find out, what color George Washington's shoes were, one day. So like, you can find out anything. Like, but I think that, talking to those people, like, these people survived it, and anything that we do, we have to be sure to remember that this centennial is not about Black Wall Street. It's not about Greenwood itself.
It's about the people who died.
It's about what the city of Tulsa did to that place. It's not about. So if we really want to just capitalize on Black Wall Street, you got all year to do that. But right now, this is a moment that, I tell people, when you come down, if you leave my tour with a smile on your face, then I judge you instantly. I ain't even.
It's
not pretty. So you got to make sure that don't forget the feeling that you're around for. The people who are selling on the street, I tell them, like, hey, shop down here, but also be able to say, like, hey, I'm gonna put a portion of this aside. I get we gotta eat, so I don't need you to give away all your mortgage money, but you need to reach back to either one of the survivors or a descendant. And if you do that, then even with these permits and all that type of stuff, if you were to get in trouble, to be honest with you, this city with that kind of pub, they not going for that kind of pub. If 25% of my proceeds is going to the survivors, and you telling me because I don't got a permit, they're not going for that. You know what I mean? So what I think is, if you really gonna take advantage, then take advantage of the leeway you got too.
Go ahead and do it. I want to take this moment to pivot really quick. I really want to get your thoughts on this new bill that was just passed by Governor Stitt that's restricting the teaching of critical race theory in Oklahoma schools. I know you're aware of that. Yeah. How do you feel about that, especially the timing of that?
Yeah,
everything that's going on.
I think that it was real ironic that right after they say you could talk about the mask, because you can't talk about who did it. So they just passed a law where you can teach about it, and then now that you can teach about it, you can't say, because it shows that one group is inherently racist. I was like, well, if you are, you are. If we know for a fact that crocodiles would eat people, they wouldn't say, well, you can't say what kind of animal it was that was doing it. Just say that somebody did.
Right.
Just say that.
Stay away from that swamp.
Yeah, just stay away from the swamp. It might be the rabbits that do it. Like it's but what it is, I think it's a way of, they're starting to realize that white guilt is actually starting to change a lot of things to where you do have allies who are like, you know what? We've been tore up this whole time. We did all of this. I owe these people. And so the argument for reparations and things of that nature start going a little bit further, because it ain't just black people talking about it. So that's a good way to kind of kill that momentum, is just saying, oh, well, if we don't say white people did it, then we can't say, like, but the same way we, when we remember history, I'll tell you this. We always say to remember 9/11. Do you think they're going to remove race from that?
Absolutely not.
They're not going to. I came from a Muslim country, so knowing that was put on all Muslims, that wasn't just put on people who looked a certain way. But when they teach about 9/11, they're not going to take that off. So if I can teach the bad that other people have done, then I need to teach the bad that white people have done too. And I think that that's the easiest way for them to really feel the impact of what they did, is you have to sit in this class. If I gotta know that I was a slave, quote unquote, is what you say, I gotta learn that I was a slave. You gotta learn that you were a killer.
That's a period after that. That's a huge exclamation point.
Dang, I wasn't expecting that to be like the point, but that's a solid point. That's a solid point.
I mean, I just think it's something else for this city to have the history that it has, and for it not to be talked about, for hundreds of people to have just wealth stripped from wealth and their lives, legacy, all those things stripped from them. And as we start to gain a little bit of momentum and starting to acknowledge what happened, acknowledge that dark past, we have our governor come in and say, you know what, never mind. Y'all are starting to get a little too excited about all this. Let's peel it back. I don't want y'all going ahead and talking about what my ancestors did, what my grandparents did. This is getting embarrassing. Yeah. So I think it's something else, but that won't stop Black Wall Street, North Tulsa, Greenwood from growing, though. That won't stop the exposure. And I think we all owe it to ourselves to just understand the history of the people, really read and do some research so that you can identify with it, because we all can identify in certain ways. We all owe it to ourselves to be informed. If you want to participate in Black Wall Street and the Centennial and everything that's going on, I just encourage you all to get informed, to make sure that you understand what's going on so that you can carry yourself appropriately.
For the upcoming time.
For the upcoming time.
For the upcoming time. Well, one thing. Oh, go ahead, Cody.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you definitely can follow along at Tulsa2021.org to see what the events are that are coming to town. If you are in the Blacks in Tulsa Facebook page, there are events being posted there regularly. And then also we are going to be posting as much as we can on the Stimulus Facebook and Instagram story. So definitely stay tuned there. Cody, where else can you find information?
I know for sure Legacy Festival, they have a bunch of stuff. I think it's on Facebook. Greenwood Art Project has a bunch of stuff, which that's Facebook, Instagram. Outside of that, now, to be honest, I'm not doing a lot of festivities, so I'm just kind of like, But you can also come to Greenwood. I mean, there's quite a few people out there. There's flyers everywhere. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. I know the Greenwood Gallery has events their own that aren't really that public. So yeah, that's really it.
I mean, but the point of the matter is there's so much going on. Like, now is the time to start asking questions.
Yes.
Like, now is the time. And we have John Legend, PJ Morton, and you got Stacey Abrams. There's so many people that's gonna be here. But we're not gonna use the rest of your time for this. But before we really let you transition out of here, let's go ahead and take a really quick break. And we will be back real soon. If y'all are tuned in, don't go anywhere just yet. We got some real special whenever we come back for you. And we'll talk to y'all soon.
North Star Security and Private Investigation provides over 35 years of experience to ensure your security and investigation needs are met. Our officers are CLEAT and state certified. If you are seeking employment, stop by our website at www.northstarsecurityandpi.com. For details on quotes and employment opportunities, call today at 918-248-6592. That's 918-248-6592. North Star Security and Private Investigation.
Hey, it's Denise with Addie Mae's Food for the Soul, where we cater to vegan, pescatarian, and everyday sultry soul food. We have meatloaf Mondays, taco Tuesdays, chicken wing Wednesday, turkey and dressing Thursday, fish Fridays, barbecue Saturdays, and Sundays is our sultry soul foods. We're located at 5266 North Peoria. You can contact us for call-in orders at 918-845-2989, and we also deliver with DoorDash. Hope to see you soon.
How to order chicken wings. Number 1, find a good wing spot.
I know a wing spot, Max Wings.
Number 2, decide if you want a combo or if you want to order a la carte.
Huh? What's that?
Well, combos come with chicken, veggie sticks, fries, and a drink for a discounted price. A la carte means that you order each item separately.
Okay.
3, decide if you want bone-in, boneless, or cauliflower wings, and then determine the delicious flavor you want on your wings.
I didn't even know cauliflower had wings.
You learn something new every day. Have you been to Max Wings?
Yep.
Max Wings is located at 782 East Pine Street in Tulsa. We're open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come to Max Wings, home of the dry rub fries.
Last Stop Lawn Maintenance and Landscaping is hiring today. Must have a valid driver's license and must have a 2 years verifiable experience mowing and lawn maintenance with the company. Strict attendance policy is required. Honest, dependable, and team-oriented. No sex offenses or crime against children. Must apply online at www.laststoplawnmaintenance.com. Apply today.
All right, we are back. I know y'all missed us. I felt like that commercial break was a little long. Yeah, we still here. We still rocking. So not only does Tulsa have talent from the traditional business space, but you'll really see that there's a lot of artists and a lot of musicians that are out here in the city as well. And there's different projects going on that are just really powerful, and they've been able to kind of play off of the history of Greenwood, really just demonstrate the tragedy that we have been through. It also bring inspiration at the same time with Fire in Little Africa and other projects that's going on. Kode, I know that if we're going to ask anybody, you somebody that's going to be able to talk to us a little bit about that. So, man, just tell us a little bit about, kind of what's going on in the music scene out here in Tulsa.
Yeah, I mean, Fire in Little Africa is amazing. I got to see their first show. They went to Oklahoma City, performed there. My cousin Steph is one of the people that's on there, real vital to the project. Dr. View, good dude. I know quite a few of them from St. Dom, the Hakeem, the Tone, my big sister Jerica. Words like it's an amazing project. And I think that being able to show that we do have so many gifts. We do have so much talent here. Tulsa has been talented for a long time. There's even a few Oklahoma City folks on there too. So it's a dope project. I believe it's nominated for a Grammy, but it's on Motown.
Hey, that's major.
That's major.
Hey, we can't skip past that.
It's super dope.
Nominated for a Grammy, and yeah, it is well deserved.
Yeah. And like I said, these are artists that even outside of the Fila project, like the ones that I knew personally, I mean, they're amazing. So O'Malley being on there, and then so like I said, I wasn't on that one, but I fully respect them, man. And I've heard and what I saw. From what I heard and saw, man, it's amazing. Like you said earlier, believe the hype. Like it was really that dope.
Yeah.
And then so I ended up actually on a different project with O'Malley. It was the Black Wall Street Music Project put together by One Tulsa. So it's on Hidden Beach Universal. So it's pretty dope, man. So they had me do mostly poetry, but I think I did one song where I had to rap. So I've been retired for a minute, so that was kind of like a good feeling.
I tell you what, when I walked in and I was like, who's that on the mic? And I saw it was you, I almost lost it. I was like, I get to see it live in action. I feel like I hear so much about like the mobile studio, and you talk about like supporting like local artists, and I'm like, but what does that look like though? It's like I wouldn't know. I see you do the events, so I don't just like get to see you like in the fullness of like you performing, and so it was super dope. So I just want to like share the gift of my excitement with you when I saw it.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Kode said he might come out of retirement for the stimulus.
Yeah.
So, folks, man, y'all are in for a treat, man. Kode, give us a little song.
All right. So on that Black Wall Street Music Project, there's a song on there called T-Town, and it's basically just talking about how Tulsa is ours, regardless of who comes in. And so a verse I did on there, I said, see, they ain't care about us till the 100th year. Now everybody got a scheme to try to get some money here, but they ain't coming with no resource or economic plans where even church came to pray, but not the spelling that you thinking. We ain't make no whiskey or no Greenwood banking. I'm really on the wood, so what that pride that they claiming? Dollars going out, but I ain't seeing none staying. I know that ain't the wave. I ain't complaining. I'm just saying, you want the soul of a nation or the vision of a watchman, a love crafted by trauma the world had forgotten. To be gentrified while watching Greenwoods rising with 2 Chambers set us back with their agendas because they childish. Legacy of solid Black Wall Street, we did it. Keep it plain as Simon Barry. I've been fueled by the history. Matter of fact, Tulsa, it can be his own city. I remain on the north and I only rep the nitty. So that was just like a little
bars.
Yeah, that was just a little about how I felt about what was going on. So
hey, you gonna hold it down, man. That was nice. That was nice.
So good.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like I said, I don't rap that often. I do the mobile studio setup sometimes, but I was a songwriter for years, so it's still in me. Sometimes when I feel moved to write, I will. If I don't, I don't. But I think that, like I said, I've heard one perspective, so I was just like, okay, well, I think a little bit differently, and I'm sure it's at least one other person that think that way. So I was like, well, I'll just do that, and see what happens. So.
For sure. So, my man, do you want to leave the people with anything else? Any other gems you want to drop?
Yeah. If you're from Tulsa and you don't really know the history of Greenwood, I do tours down on Greenwood. You just got to come down there. You can find me in either the Black Wall Street Liquid Lounge or the Greenwood Gallery, or just walking up and down the street on Greenwood Avenue. But I think that it's important to let everybody know the tour actually has no fee for me. What you have to do is you just got to shop with somebody black on Black Wall Street. You can get $1 wristband. Doesn't matter what it is. Just spend money with somebody down there and you can get a tour for free. Takes about an hour. I do have a kid friendly and more graphic one. So you actually learn from the time OW came to Oklahoma all the way up till yesterday, to be honest with you. Like, we go all the way up. So yeah.
Man, so you booked up coming here for the centennial or what?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be, but I'm hard headed. So most of the stuff that I'm booked up for, I know for sure is like media stuff. So I make them wait. Like, gonna be honest. Like if it's people, like I'm more of a people person than a media person. So yeah. If I tell them 12 o'clock and somebody come on the tour at 11:55, at 12 o'clock just gotta wait. So yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. You have to really like own your time and your contribution to this earth. And so I appreciate it. Man, and how can people reach you?
Facebook is Kode Ransom. Reads like code. I get that a lot. Instagram the same. And then also, like I said, if you just show up on Greenwood, you probably see me within an hour or so.
My man is in the community, y'all. So, Kode, it's been a pleasure. We really appreciate you being on the show. You know, all of your knowledge and insight, man, is invaluable. So, you know, we're really looking forward to continue to grow with you and continue to see the community grow as well. And, you know, you're very impactful over what's going on out here in North Tulsa. So I'm sure everybody appreciates you out here as well.
For sure. Appreciate y'all always. Yeah.
Great. So if you're down for it, Kode, we're just going to give the community just a few resources that we know are available. And we're going to, you know, let people enjoy the rest of their Monday. But with that being said, guys, there is a lot that's getting ready to go on in the city. There are, you know, lots of people coming here. There are lots of people throwing events. There's social things going. There's professional development things going. There's just so much in the city that you want to make sure that you get involved. Like my guy John said, get involved. There is no excuse. This is also the time to take advantage of showcasing your businesses, showcasing your talent, you know, showcasing whatever it is that you want the world to know about you. Now's the time to do it. And it's exciting because there's so many non-locals who are going to be in town. They don't know you from Sam, you know, and, you know, this could be your time to rock. So just definitely like stay alert and stay ready. But with that being said, there are two entrepreneurship related events that are going to be upcoming, and one is on June 2nd and one is on June 3rd. On June 2nd, there is a Build in Tulsa community kickoff. There's lots of talent that's local that is going to be really highlighting like what tech could be within Tulsa. And there are people who are coming to town to talk about what it looks like to invest in businesses that want to incorporate tech in Tulsa. And a lot of times when we start talking about tech, people feel like that is not a conversation that, you know, is available to everyone. But in this particular event, it will be. And so that is actually going to be at the AHA Museum, and everyone's invited. The only thing that is important to know about this is that you do need to register. And so you can go onto the stimulus page on Facebook, and we will have the link there for you to register. In addition, we also have an Atento kickoff that's happening on June 3rd. And for that event, what we're going to see are a lot of the Black businesses that are, you know, within tech who have been here for the past year or so, who have been using Tulsa as a way to catalyze and grow. They are going to be having a panel discussion about all of the ways that they've been able to leverage the resources that live within this community. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be free food. It's going to be music. It's going to be all of these things. And that's actually going to be at Guthrie Green. So that's really exciting. On a separate note from the events that are coming up, there is also an application for the Mortar Academy. This Mortar Academy is an academy that I'm actually running through the TEDC, and it is specifically for historically disadvantaged entrepreneurs, also Black and brown entrepreneurs. And when you think about it, you can either have an idea, you can have a product, or you can have a new business that you're just looking to grow and you're looking to get some support. That program is actually called Mortar, and it's called Mortar because it's for businesses who aspire to be brick and mortar businesses. So we got a little bit of tech for you. We also got a little bit, for folks who are not necessarily interested in that right now. That application for the first cohort actually closes tomorrow at midnight. We're not going to close the application in total because there's a second cohort that's going to be coming soon. But anyway, all of that information is also on the TEDC website. I am going to also post that information into the stimulus Facebook page. And then the final thing that I would like to leave you all with is just making sure that you all know that we also have the North Tulsa Community Music Festival coming up, and it's going to be on Saturday, June 5th from 12 until, definitely get there though by 6 because you don't want to get there, afterwards and then, like the party doesn't calm down a little bit. So that is actually going to be at KBOB 89.9 Studios, which is at 1533 North Norfolk Avenue. And as always, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Stimulus Radio. And John and I would just love to engage with you.
Folks, we just want to extend our gratitude for y'all tuning in and rocking with us. Another week we're back at it. We are here right in the midst of the Tulsa centennial. So we will be out and about. You can catch Ciore and I, Cody. We're going to be around. You might see us at certain events. If you see us, say what's up. We want to hear from y'all. We want to know what you think about the show. And, really just take this time to just think about your legacy. Think about, what you want to leave behind. I think it's powerful, everything that the history of this city, this town, and really what's in store here on, on the horizon. So, man, I was on Cody's Facebook and I saw a quote that stood out to me, and I hope I don't misquote it too much, but it pretty much said, if no one thinks about you after you die, you never lived. Think about that legacy. So y'all, we love you. And until next time, we'll be back. You're listening in on The Stimulus with Ciore and Jonathan, KBOB 89.9. Have a great week.
Over the world.